What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so there's been some updates when it comes to the situation regarding Ghislaine Maxwell, who was the girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein. And, you know, I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. It's starting to get to a point where I'm really losing my motivation to do these videos. And the reason why I'm losing motivation to do these videos is because I'm starting to feel like our society is just fucking wretched, man. I've always been a person that, even though, we can clearly see there's been a decline in our society over the past 30 years, man. Definitely from a moral standpoint. Really, you could argue past 50, 60 years, but it's really accelerated since then, the 90s. I still always thought that at our heart, at our core, we still are basically a good people. We're still basically at our core, with all the flaws that we all have as humans, we're still generally good people. I no longer feel that's the case. I think that we've now devolved into tribalism. I've always said that I thought that we as people have a need to worship something that we perceive as bigger than us, something that makes us feel like we belong as part of something. And now that our country is no longer a religious one, we're now being drawn toward, worshiping people. And with this celebrity-driven culture, it's celebrities or politicians or a mix thereof. And Donald Trump is the perfect person for that, because he started off as a celebrity back in the 80s. He was a cultural figure. Over time, he moved into television, which was the biggest realm at that time. And then he ran for president and he won. And the message that he had a lot of appeal, although there were a lot of dark undertones. And up until recently, while I have a lot of disdain for a lot of things that he stands for, at the same time, there are some things that he has done and has said that I agree with. But I got to be honest with y'all, man. Anybody with a brain at this point can see that this man is what his enemies claim that he is when it comes to the worst. I cannot ever, in good conscience, ignore that somebody messes with little rascals. And I'm using code here. Okay, I know. There's no way around that. I already told you guys, if you do a little research, you can find that he has a long pattern of this. This Epstein Gate thing is not going to go away, no matter what they do, no matter what distraction tactics they put out there. I don't give a fuck if it's a fleet of goddamn alien paratroopers coming into our galaxy, our solar system, excuse me. I'm not moving away or pivoting away from this shit right here. So if you don't know the latest updates, I had to just get it out of my system. So now all of a sudden, it's been rumored that Ghislaine Maxwell told the Department of Justice that she never witnessed Donald Trump doing anything improper around her. Okay? I don't know the whole testimony, but that's what is being rumored. You combine that with how all of a sudden now, Ghislaine Maxwell has been moved from her prison where she was housed at in Florida to this minimum security prison in Texas, which has really no cameras, very little security fencing around. She now has some buddies around her, from what I understand, right? She now has, give me 1 second here. So now she's in a minimum security prison in Bryan, Texas. And she has some people around her that, you know what I'm saying, can keep her company. Now she has this person right here. Her name, Elizabeth Holmes. And Elizabeth Holmes was the lead, she was the head financier of a biotech company. Well, she was the lead of a biotech company. But you may have read years ago, she went to prison for massive fraud. And then she's also in prison with this woman here, and her name is Jen Shaw, right? She was on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's at the same prison for fraud, wire fraud, I believe it is, right? But see, the difference between those two women and Maxwell is that they are not considered dangerous offenders. Fraud is bad, but fraud is not somebody who preys upon little rascals. Someone who has allegedly, I'm talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, stalked the malls and stalked schoolyards across the country, perhaps outside the country. I don't know all the details. It has engaged in the assault of over 1,000 people, including little rascals. I'm not going to downplay this shit just for an audience, just for likes. I'm not doing that shit, man. You can come on here and deflect all you want to. I'm not talking about Biden. We're talking about the president of the United States right now. Now there's rumors that they may arrange that this woman will be in house arrest for 15 years. Which, by the way, you know, I wouldn't even be, now I'm speculating here. I wouldn't even be surprised if somehow, you know, she magically escapes and ends up in Israel somewhere. When you look at, when you do a little research about Ghislaine Maxwell, you find out some things about her. Among one is that her sister serves on the World Economic Council. So we're not talking about a regular, you know, we're talking about one of these global elite type level personalities. And that's why they're trying to shuffle this under the rug. They're trying to shove this under the rug. Look, if this was a real investigation that the DOJ was doing when it comes to the situation, why aren't they looking for victims to talk to and interview them? Well, where are the victims at? I mean, because with Diddy, man, all you saw is this person come out, that person come out. Funny. That's why I said I don't give a shit about the Diddy situation. I'm sorry. Because I know that for the most part, that's a cash grab. It's a cash grab. You know what I'm saying? Now, the federal government came after Diddy, but for the most part, most of the accusers were motivated by greed and avarice. The reason why you won't see any Epstein accusers come out is mostly because of extraordinary fear and the fact that a lot of these people are probably not even here anymore. You know, you saw what they just did to the most vocal one, Virginia Guffrey. She supposedly unalived herself. And, you know, what's so sad about all of this is that the majority of people listening to this video are going to do either one of two things. They're going to, at best, say, yeah, it's messed up, but what can you do? Or they're going to somehow attack me. Oh, you need to stick to sports. Oh, you need to stop talking about what you don't know about. Oh, man, you know, stick to talking about nigger topics like sports, like I just said. You know, that's what they're kind of pretty much saying. I'm telling the truth. But, you know, most people still looking at this thing as a Democrat versus Republican issue. Democrat versus Republican. Democrat versus Republican. No, it's an elite versus everybody else issue. They can do literally whatever the fuck they want to do. They can do whatever they want to do. But, you know, this country just does not punish, for the most part, their elite. I mean, I only can think of, off the top of my head, one high-ranking government official that was ever been arrested for federal prison. When I say high-ranking, I mean like the upper levels of leadership when it comes to our federal government. Only one. That's Dennis Hastert. Dennis Hastert was the Speaker of the House back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And he went to prison for doing the unthinkable to little rascals. It was found out. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, they all get away. They all get away with it, man. And this stuff right here, this shit right here is the biggest cover-up. To me, the biggest cover-up by far in presidential history. This makes Watergate look like a little boy, you know what I'm saying, covering up his hands or putting his hands behind his back with the cookies out of the cookie jar. This is nothing. That's nothing compared to this shit, man. And the fact this guy still has support is just appalling to me. It just goes to show how far morally we fall as a nation. This guy curses, and I mean, yeah, I curse on video, man. But if I was president of the United States, I wouldn't be cursing like this. I wouldn't be talking like this. I wouldn't be conducting myself the way this guy conducts himself. He's scum. Most of these people that are affiliated with him are scum. What about the Democrats? Look, man, everything ain't always about, I got to balance it out by talking about Democrats. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. I'll get to them when I'm talking about them. Can't win with some of these motherfuckers. I remember when I was shitting on Biden last year and shitting on Kamala, people say I won't show the same energy for Trump. I said, well, because Trump's not president. They didn't want to hear that shit. Now I'm shitting on Trump, right? And now they're saying, oh, well, why you ain't shitting on Democrats? So this lets me know people really just click on my LeBron videos. They don't really listen to what the fuck I gotta say. They just want to hear a nigga rant on LeBron. That would explain why I still have people saying, why are you a Democrat? Like, that lets me know you're not listening to my videos. You're still a Democrat in this day and age? Are you still a dumb fuck in this day and age? But anyway, I'm done, man. It's so obvious that there's a fix going on. There's a quid pro quo going on. She's protecting Donald Trump. He's giving her more flexibility and making things easier for her. And eventually it's going to transfer to her. It's going to translate to him probably pardoning her. I don't know whether it's going to be at the end of his term, probably. Now, she might still have some state charges against her. I don't know. But if I had to take a guess, he's going to pardon her the last 24 hours of his presidency, if he's still president. But it's just, this shit is sickening, man. Tell me what you guys think.